Remo here from Perfect Gaming Guides, bringing you another 100% completion walkthrough. Today we're playing When the Past Was Around, which is a really chilled out point and click adventure puzzle game, and this will take us just 1 hour to get the full 1000 gamer score and complete the game. A few of the achievements can be missed, guys, so this guide will help make sure that you get them all in a single run through of the game. The game's currently available to own for free if you have an Xbox Live Gold or Xbox Ultimate subscription, so grab it for free while you can before August 15th, 2023. Okay, let's start a new game and work on those achievements, guys. So as the game starts, we see Ida, our main character, standing by a cage with a shadowy figure inside it. Let's move the cursor to the cage and press A to open it. Then we click the door that appears and we go through it. We start by tidying the shoes on the rug by clicking them. Then we lift the rug and pick up the key that's under it. Then we go up to the rack and we pick up the key that's there as well. We move over to the desk, we tidy the chair away and we click on the desk. We use the key that has the owl on it and we open the top drawer with that, and we take out the knife. Then we pick up the second key that has the picture of Ida on it, and we open the second drawer and we click on the picture. This gets us our first achievement, the Memoir achievement. We pick up the knife and we use it to open the box, and we see a feather comes out of the box and we click on that, and that basically takes us to the next scene. And that's kind of how this game works, guys. Whenever you see like a feather that sort of floats like that, that's kind of the mechanic for taking us into the next scene of the game. So we just click on the door now to go through. In this scene we click on the two jars on the shelf and we pick up the item that's between them. Then we open the cupboard to the right and we pick up the owl that's inside there. We click on the bottom black drum and a key drops out and we pick it up. Then we move over to the left and we click the trash can and a crank falls out, so we pick that up. Then we need to click on all of the books. Doesn't really matter which order that you click them, but you need to click them, and that reveals a code which we will need in a moment or two. And this picture up here is a clue as well that's also used for the keys on the piano. We move over to the piano and we can see that the keys have got symbols on them. Those keys, if we number them from 1 to 7 from left to right, and we're going to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, so it's 1 1 5 5 6 6 5, and that will get us the Twinkle Twinkle Little Star achievement. Then we also need to use that code that we found on the bookshelf, so we're going to enter that, so it's 1 4 3 4 6 4 1. That opens the secret compartment on the piano and we pick up the item that's in there. Then we scroll back over to the left and we click on the music box. We use the key to open it. We attach the owl and then we use the crank and we pick up the item that's inside. We move back across to the left and we click on the wardrobe add in the 3 items that we picked up, and that allows us to open the door. We exit out of that and we click on the feather, and that starts a short cutscene. Click on the door to go through. So this area here is the start of a couple of cumulative and therefore missable achievements in the game, guys. So the Shattered achievement and Let the Wind Blows achievement. So we need to open all windows in the game and break all plant pots. So we start off by working our way across the room, and there should be 7 plant pots to break here in total. Then we click on this box and we take the tap handle out of there. You'll see a dirty sponge lying on the floor, so we pick that up. Move back to the left. If we move the 2 mugs, we can see there's some bread there, so we pick that up off the table. We click the switch to switch on the power to the blender. Then we click this wall switch, which switches off the fan, and we inspect that, and we can see that there's a clock hand there, so we lift that. Then we go back to the blender, or sorry, over to the blender, and we pick up the bread that we picked up and we put it in. Switch the blender on, and then we take the breadcrumbs out of the blender. Now we click on the sink and we fit the tap handle, click it to switch the water on. Then we clean the sponge. Now get a nice clean sponge there, so we can now move back across to the right. Click on the window, so that's one of our missable achievement, guys. We need to open all windows in the game. Click the breadcrumbs and put it on the plate for the bird. The bird arrives, we click on it, open the envelope, and that gets us the second hand for the clock. Now we need to know what time that we're putting on the clock, so we wash the mirror and we can see it's 17:15. So we go to the grandfather clock and we attach both of the hands, and you just click them to get them to move. So we put the small hand to 7 and we set the large hand to 3 so that we've got 7:15, and that opens up the grandfather clock, which has a crowbar inside, so we lift that. We use the crowbar to open the crate, look inside, and we can see there's a key in there, so we pick that up, exit out and move back across to the left, and we can see the small red diary. We click on that and we use the key to open it. Click on it and that reveals a feather, which we click on and starts another short cutscene. Then we click on the door to go through. So here's another part of the game that we need to click on all of the musical notes that are inside bubbles. So we need to click on all of those to progress through the scene. And there's also an achievement at the very end for this as well. So make sure we don't miss any of them, guys. Not sure if you actually can, but we just click through them anyway. I think at this stage you can't miss these ones. It just waits until you click them. We click this final bunch of notes here. and up pops our achievement for completing the prologue. Another missable achievement right at the very beginning of this scene, guys. If we make our way over to the far left and we click on all of the 9 tombstones and break them, there's 9 that we can click on. Once they're all broken, you will earn the Requiem achievement. Move up to the flower basket and we click on that. Click on the heart and we can lift the gemstone out of the middle of that. Then we move back across to where the owl is. We take the gem and we put it in the owl to replace its missing eye. Then we click the lever and that opens a crypt. We pick up the pulley wheel that's lying on the floor and put it on the pulley, click on it, and that gets us the behind the curtain achievement. And this reveals the guy standing with the music box in his hand. We just click the music box and then click the photo that's inside. And this starts another cutscene. So we're going to start off this scene by moving over to the right hand side and we're going to tidy up all the mess that's on the floor. So we click on all of the boxes and we click on the books, get them back up on the shelf, and then finally we click on the ripped poster on the wall and up pops our Spick and Span achievement. Then we go down, we click on the rug and we pick up the key that's underneath it. We move back to the left and we click on the case, and in there's some tape. And then we move up to the desk and there's a red box sitting on the desk. We're going to click on that. Take the knife from the box and we see that there's something hidden there that's got musical notes coming out of it. We're going to use the knife to open that up, and that reveals a TV, an old TV set, and the power. We can see that the power button's missing, so we can't do anything with it yet. So we exit back out of that and we click on the desk drawer and use the key to open it up. And we can see that there's a button in there, so we pick that up, back to the TV, and we place the power button onto the TV. And now we need to press these buttons in a certain sequence, so it's 2, 4, 5, 1, and then 3, and it's basically just Ida starting from when she's really young and it progressively gets older. That opens up a secret compartment in the TV, and we pick up the key that's in there. That allows us to move up to this door, and we just click the door and use the key to go through. Click the handle. There's a bouquet of flowers just down at our feet, so we click on that and we click on it again, and we can see that that reveals 4 musical notes, which is a code that we're going to need later on. And we move over to the bike and we use those 4 notes to basically open up the lock. So you just copy what I've done here, guys. That opens up the basket, and we can pick up what is actually a doorbell, a push bell for a door. We move over to the right and we can see that the wire is broken, so we use the tape for fixing that. Then we use the button and then we press it. Then we click on the notes so that we can progress to the next stage. On the music box we need to turn the crank, and each time we do that some music notes pop up and we need to click on them. So we need to do this 2 or 3 times. And up pops a feather and we click on that, and that basically ends chapter 1. Up pops your achievement for that when the door opened. Chapter 1 complete. See, there's a violin case there that the guy's holding, and it's got like a chain round it. So we need to pick up this key here that's sitting on the box. Then we pick up the crank that's lying on the ground. We click on the violin case, we can see that there's something missing, so we need to get that. Move back over to the left, we can click on the music box and use the key to open it. Use the crank, and that allows us to pick up the small music tile that's in there, and that seems to be what we use to fit into the lock to open it. And then we just click on the case again and it reveals a scarf. Pick the scarf up. In this scene we're going to continue to work on the Let the Wind Blows achievement, where we need to open all the windows in every scene in the game, guys. So we're just going to work our way across, starting from right to left. Doesn't really matter what order you do it, but you need to make sure that you open all of them. And we can see there's a bug in the second window. We just click on that and it's got a envelope in its beak, so we have a look at that because that's part of a code that we need in a few minutes. Then we move back to the table and we click on Ida's wallet, we take the money out. We also look at this because this is a code as well, so these sort of X's, the X-shaped flowers, we'll see in a second where that comes from. But we move back down, we pick up the money and we give it to the barista. Then we open this cupboard behind him and we take the coffee pot from behind him. We click back on the table and we use the coffee pot to fill Ida's cup. And you can see there's a sort of X-shaped flower on it. That signifies the position that we're interested in, those 3 X's. So we open up this red box here, and it follows the same sort of 3x3 grid, and we basically click the buttons where the X's are and this opens up and we take the slice of cake out. Move over to the left hand side and we click the door to go through it. If we move over to the gate and we click it and we try it a few times, that makes 3 birds appear, and we click each one of them individually. One of them is going to drop something, we pick it up. As we move across, you can see there's like 3 posters up on the wall that have also got codes on them, which we're going to use. We place the cake onto the plate and the bird drops the item that it has in its beak and we're able to pick that up. So these 3 posters, along with the envelope that the bird had in its beak, gives you the answer to this, the positions that we need to click on the post box. So it's that there. There's a bird inside and it's also holding some, so we managed to lift that. Then if you just keep clicking on the bird, it will start singing, and that gives us the messenger bird achievement. Now we have the 3 items, we can go back to the gate and just place them in. Once they're all placed in, we can just click the handle and that opens the gate and allows us through. And again, we just click the music notes, the bubbles as they appear. Ida's cold, so the owl offers her his scarf, so you just click on him. And then we click the feather. And we're pretty much done with chapter. When I Found You achievement pops. And on to chapter 3 now, guys. So we start off by picking up the jug that's just to Ida's left. Then we pick the jug up and put it in the water cooler so that it fills it with water. We take that jug of water and we feed the plant with it. It's wilted and a key appears at the top. Then we go over to the diary that the guy's holding. We click on it and we use the key. From the speech bubbles here, we can see that the owl takes his coffee with milk and Ida likes tea with what looks like a flower in it. So we go and make them some. So first off, we need to go down to this table and we click on the feathers to reveal some matches. We pick those up and we light the candle so that it burns down. Meanwhile, we pick up the blue page that's lying on the table. And then when the candles disappeared, we can pick up the mug. Then we move up to the coffee pot. We put some coffee in, which is the third container down. Then we pick up the milk and we put some milk into the coffee pot. We pick the pot up and fill the cup up. Then we lift the cup and that allows us to then place the mug on. We put some tea into the pot and then we put the flowers in. And then we fill up the mug. And then we lift the mug, exit out of there, and we can now move over to the table where the owl and Ida are sitting. Lift that flower that's sitting on the table, give the owl his coffee, give Ida her tea, and that starts a short cutscene. Then the oven bings and there are some cookies in it, so we're going to go over to the oven and we're going to lift them out. Back to the table, click on it and we're going to place the cookies in the middle of the table. Then we're just going to keep clicking them until there's none left. And this is going to earn us the Tea Time Symphony achievement. Click on the music bubble so that we can progress. Once the door appears, we just click on that to go through. So these speech bubbles that appear again above Ida and the owl show us exactly what it is that we need to collect. So we need a flower, some coral, a shell and a starfish. So we can see that the coral's up here next to this post. We move the red bucket and we can see that there's a starfish underneath it. Then we move over to the left and in the cocktail we want to grab that flag that's in there, and there's another flag with a cross on it on the boat. We want to grab that. Then we click on the ice cream truck, and it's important here when we click on the ice cream that we only click on the right hand side one because there's an achievement for this. So we just keep clicking that until there's none left, and actually when the two lolly sticks are together, that's actually a code. So we can see my dearest there, and each position corresponds to a letter, and we're going to need that for solving a code in a little bit. So the right tastes better achievement pops. We can exit out of there now, and now we click on the sandcastle, and we're going to place those two flags that we picked up. So the one with the diamond on it has to go to the right hand side, the one with the X on it has to go to the left. Then the turtle appears with the castle on its back, and it starts to move out the way, and that is going to reveal the shell that we need. So we pick that up. Then we move back across and we click on the owl, and we place the 4 items, so the flower, the coral, the star and the shell into the bottle, and that starts another short cutscene, guys. Then we just click on the notes and the bubbles again. Click on this bubble. And the door appears, and we just click on it. So the speech bubbles above Ida and the owl tell us again what our next objectives are. We need to light a fire, we need to find a windmill, and we need to look at the star constellations. So we use the matches and we can light the fire right away. That gets that bit done. Then we move left and we click on the camper, and we click the camera to get the lens. We then move over and we click on the first of the telescopes on the left, and we move over to the left and slightly down, and that finds us our first constellation that we need. Then we move over to the right and we click on the right hand side telescope, and we need to fit the lens that we picked up onto that one. Then we move over to the right and slightly up, and that gets us the next constellation that we need. Now we need to build a windmill. So we move across and we come to this table here, and there's a clue here, and it's to do with time. So we've got 5 things, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each of them has a time allocated to them. So there's a difference of an hour and 15 minutes, then an hour and 30 minutes, then an hour and 45 minutes, and then 2 hours between 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. So if we look at the time on number 4, we can see that it's 5 past 5, and number 5 needs to be 2 hours behind that, so it's 5 past 3 that we need to change that to. We open that up and we lift the scissors, and then we click on the sandwich, and we can see EDA and a dot, and the code that we revealed on the lolly sticks earlier that's what that's for. So we use that and the lolly sticks to solve that code for a padlock later on. So we place the paper on the table and we use the scissors to cut each of the corners. And then we click each side and that allows it to fold in to make the windmill. Now we need a tack, so we're going to have to go back through the door, back to the beach, and we move right across to the far left of the beach and we click on the door there. And then we click on the red box, which will reveal a padlock that we need to put a code into. So as I said, it's EDA dot, so the code that we're going to enter is 7 2 3 and then 0. And to be honest, it doesn't matter what order that you put those numbers in, as long as you put those 4 digits in, it will open. That reveals a crowbar and we lift that and go back through the door again. Then we go over to the far right of the beach and we'll see that there's a crate. We're going to use the crowbar to open the crate. Inside the crate there's a tack, so we lift that, exit back out and then go through the door. Back to the table again, and then we lift the tack and put it into the centre of the windmill. Then we lift the windmill and move over to the right hand side here, and just to the left of the telescope we can see there's like a stick sticking out of the ground, so you need to actually click on the stick first, then you can place the windmill on it and a short cutscene starts. We click on the music bubble again as usual, guys, and this allows us to end the chapter. So we just click on the feather and that's chapter 3 complete. This also earns us the When We Were Together achievement. And at this point the owl falls ill and we get the When We Were Together achievement. So at the beginning of chapter 4, we're going to simply start by clicking on all 5 of the lights in this scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we click on the feather that the guy's holding. Click on it again. So you can see that the owl is ill and he needs medicine and he needs his scarf. So that's our 2 objectives here. We make our way over to the left. First quick achievement we're going to get is by clicking on the stereo to switch it off. And we get the Sound of Silence achievement pops up. Then we're going to click on the cupboard in the left hand corner and we're going to lift the detergent out of it. Then we move back across and we're going to click on the washing basket and just keep clicking that until there's nothing left in it. And finally the scarf comes out. We can see it's dirty, so we lift the scarf. This rug here is actually a clue, so we need to count the number of owls in the scene, we need to count the number of butterflies, we need to count the number of brooms, and we need to count the number of birds that's in this scene. Don't worry guys, you don't really need to count them, I've got the solution, but if you're interested that's where the code comes from. So we use that to open this safe. So there's an achievement for entering 1915 in this, and we try it. That's not the right code. The correct code is what I was saying earlier about counting the number of owls, etc. So we change that and it's 1935, and inside there is the medicine for the owl. So we pick that up. Next we're going to put the tap on. Sorry, we've picked up the red bucket, I forgot to mention that. Picked up the red bucket, we move over to the tap. We switch that on, fill the bucket. Then we move back to the left. Open up the washing machine, put the scarf in, close the door. Then we put the water into the left hand compartment. We put the detergent into the right hand compartment. And then we power it on. Wait till that's finished. Then we click on the machine again and we're able to take the scarf back out. We can move back over now and simply switch on the tap again, and fill the bucket up again because we need that for the next scene. Then we click on the code here. We click on the red book and that gives us 6 notes which we're going to use later on for a code. And then we move over to the owl and we give him his pills. And we give him his scarf. And that starts another short cutscene. Usual stuff, we click on the music bubbles and that allows us to progress. Then we click on the gate to exit the scene. So we can see the owl is ill again, and he needs some flowers and he needs his medicine. So we move left and we can see that the pills are on the shelf where the flowers are, and those 6 notes that were inside the red book in the previous scene, we use those to solve this puzzle here. Open this lock. If you just follow what I've done, guys, that'll unlock it for you. Inside the container there is some seeds, so we pick those up and we move back across, and the empty pot that's just to Ida's right, we click on that. We place the seeds in the pot, then we use the bucket of water to feed it. And that grows, and we pick the flowers. We exit out of that and we move back across to the owl and we give him the flowers. And we give him the medication. And another short cutscene starts. Click the bubbles as usual. So we click on the white door to go through. Click on the bubble. A few more need to click on. So we're going to start by checking in the waste paper bin, and there's a code in there, so 13, 12, 15, the one on the left, so the right paper is not really needed. If we go up to this key entry system and we put that code in, so 131215, and then click the tick box, that opens the little compartment below and allows us to switch the power on. And get the trowel. Move over to the left and we can see there's 3 owls and then 3 birds to the right, and the objective here is we want all of the owls over at the right hand side and all of the smaller birds over at the left, so you just follow the pattern that I'm doing here, guys. Pretty easy. Once you've got them in place, that opens up the compartment in the middle and we can lift the black cube out of it. We head over to the left, and on top of the washing machine we click on the basket with the clothes in it. We'll take all of those out, and on the blue shirt we click on that and we can see that there's a knife in there, so we lift that out. Then we come back out of that and back through the white door. Then we use the trowel to dig up the soil here, and that reveals a tin with a puzzle on it that we need to solve. So if we start at the outside and you get that blue bit up at the top first, and then each of the circles you just start working your way into the middle. That's the easiest way to solve that. Once the tin opens up, we've got a black circle inside it. We lift that out. Then we go back through the gate. And we head over to the left. And this parcel that's sitting on the table, we click on that and we use the knife to open it up. So there's a puzzle inside here, and what we need to do is this tile up here with the flower on it, we need to move that down to the position where the flower is down at the bottom. So if you just follow what I've done, guys, so this tile here needs to move up first. Move that one up, then we move that across. That one up, and this one here needs to go right across there. That allows us to move this one back down and then slide that one to the left, and that frees up the one with the flower on it. That gets us our final piece of that puzzle, guys, the triangle, the black triangle. So at that point we can exit out of there, and we click on the red diary. We can see the code there, so it's square, circle, triangle, circle, square. And we move back across through the gate, back through the white door, and we head over to this door where Ida's standing, and you can see we've got the three shapes and we need to place them in. As we can see, we've got all the shapes in place, but if you try the handle, nothing happens. So these three black things are actually buttons, and they need to be pressed in a specific order, guys. So it's square, circle, triangle, circle, square. Then we click on the handle and that lets us through. So the owl's collapsed and he needs his medicine again, so we need to frantically click through everything so that we find it for him. Just joking, you don't really need to frantically do anything in this game. So we click basically every clickable item. We also need to make sure that we trash all of the plant pots. Which there are 4 of. So that's the second. Third plant pot. And the 4th plant pot. Just keep clicking on everything that's clickable, guys. Once there's nothing left to click, the owl's medicine appears. So check back to the right, see what we've missed. It's the bed. So click on the bed for me and the medicine appears. The medicine will basically appear whatever the last item is that you click, so it won't necessarily be the bed unless that's the last thing that you click, guys. If it was the mirror, it would be behind the mirror, etc. So we take the medicine and we give it to the owl. And this starts another cutscene for us. We click on the feather again and we keep clicking on it. Each time that we click it, we can see the hand gets closer. that's the end of chapter 4. And also the end of the owl, by the looks of things. So we just click on the door to the right of Ida to open it. And we click it again to go. And up pops "When the Day Arrived" achievement for completing chapter 4, guys. This scene starts with us finishing off the cumulative achievement for opening all the windows, so that gets us the "Let the Wind Blows" achievement. As long as we've not missed any of the previous ones, that'll pop. And then we click on all of the boxes in the scene, and up pops the musical note. So this final chapter that we're in here, each scene that we're in, we're going to be looking for one of those notes, and once we find it, we just click on the owl to end the scene. Click on the door, and then the next scene starts, and again we're looking for a musical note. So we click on all of the sandcastles, so there's 5 of them, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and the musical note pops up, we click that, and then to exit we click on the owl again to make the door appear. Click on the door, and now we get our final cumulative achievement by knocking over the remaining 6 plant pots, which will give us our shattered achievement and also reveal the final note that we need to pick up. So again, that achievement will only pop up, guys, if you have successfully taken, as long as you have successfully knocked over all of the plant pots across all of the scenes where you need to do that. Let me just go through the door. So on these stone pillars there is a musical note on each, so we just place the corresponding note onto the pillar, then we click on it and it reveals a feather in each one. We pick up the feather in each one, eventually we'll have 3. Once we have all 3 feathers, we move across to the right to where Ida is. And we click on her. Then we place the 3 feathers in her hand. This triggers another cutscene for us. And he does just reminiscing back through time, all the times that she spent with the owl. Usual story, need to click on the music note bubbles. once we've finished clicking on all those music notes, we're pretty much done with this part of the game. So one final thing to do, we just need to click on the door here for us to go through, and that will get us our 18th achievement out of 20, still 2 to get, that we actually get those during the credits, guys, so don't think that we're done yet. So up pops when the past was around, so that's our 18th for completing chapter 5, that's our 18th achievement out of 20. And there's 2 more to get, so one of them is gained by making sure that we click on all the music notes here, so make sure that we do that. You need to click on them all, and this does go on for a bit, guys, so just bear with it. Getting near the end now. And there we go. The Virtuoso achievement pops, guys, and because we have that one, as long as you've got all the others. Congratulations, guys, you've just 100% completed the game and bagged yourself 1000 Gamerscore. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, guys. I enjoyed making it. I'd really appreciate if you would click that like button on the video and also hit the subscribe button for the channel so that you don't miss out on any future walkthroughs and guides. Thanks for watching, guys.